Hey guys, welcome back. When we work on containerization, we must ensure to manage and store the images which we build as part of our project requirement. We can use any registry which are available in the market, or we can store them in our personal server. It's up to you and your requirement. Today in this video, I'll show you how we can use Amazon ECR, that is Elastic Container Registry, to store, manage, share, and deploy the container. Here is the diagram. If you see here, we are going to use Docker to build and push that image to the Amazon ECR, that is Elastic Container Registry. And from there, we can pull the image as per the requirement, and then we can create container out of that. I'll show you from the scratch step by step how we can use this entire process. To use ECR, you must have the latest AWS CLI installed in your Docker server. I'll share the latest link to download the AWS CLI in the description below. So let's start. Let's first create the repository in the ECR. How you'll get that? Go to the services, and if you go here, containers, you'll find Elastic Container Registry. Just click on this, and you'll see the dashboard of our Elastic Container Registry. Here you can see I have already a private repository available, that is mptech-irepo. So what I can do, I'll show you how we can create a repository with specific project name. Now let's go ahead and create a repository here. Select the visibility settings, whether you want it to private or public, make it as private, and the repository name. The repository name, what it says, it provides a concise name. A developer should be able to identify the repository contents by the name. So you have to give a concise name based on the project. Suppose I have a finance application or finance project which we are working. So I can give as like fin app, something like this. I gave the repository name as fin app. Okay. Now what I can do here, tag immutability. What is this? Enable tag immutability to prevent image tags from being overwritten by subsequent image pushes using the same tag. If you don't want the same tag to be overwritten, you can just enable this option. Now you can see here image scan, this one is deprecated. Just go ahead. If you want to do encryptions, you can still enable this encryption one, or else you can just leave it as it is. Now go ahead and create a repository. So you can see here our repository has been created now. So if I go here, pin off, you can see here no images available. No images available now. So how we can push the images to this repository? Now if we go ahead and check here, view push commands, right? Just click on this and it will give you the complete details step by step how you can use the commands to push the images which you build as part of your project. Okay, so before that, first what we have to do, we have to retrieve an authentication token and authenticate your Docker client to your registry. Use the AWS CLI. As I said before, you have to install the latest version of the AWS CLI. Now, once you ensure that AWS CLI is installed, you can use this command to authenticate the Docker client to your registry. Copy this entire command. Go ahead, just paste it here, hit enter. So you can see here, we are getting the warning, so just ignore it. And we can see here, the login is succeeded. Okay, before that, you must have to configure your AWS credentials. So for that, you have to just use AWS configure, hit enter, and you have to provide the, the access key and the secret key in order to configure the AWS. You must have to configure before you are using this AWS. If you have not configured, you'll get error, and first configure it and then execute the command again. Now I have already configured it. So the next command is to follow, like to build your Docker image. Okay. So if I go here in this Docker server, in this folder, I have created a Docker file. It's very basic Docker file. And what it contains, it just contains from the base image, like httpd latest. I'm going to create one Apache server. Okay. And there I'm going to deploy or copy the index.html, which I have created here, to the Apache servers root directory where my application can run. It's very simple, two line or two layers of Docker file. Okay, so once you can see here, it is created. What you can do once you create the required Docker file, what you can do, you can use this command docker build -t bin app. Okay, let's copy this, go ahead, paste it here. So FinApp is the repository name, right? Hit enter. See, it's just building our image. Okay, so we can see here our image has been built. So if I do Docker images, you can see here we have this FinApp latest tag and image ID has been created. Now what we can do next is to tag that image to the repository so that we can able to push it. So to do that, just copy this line and paste it here. What it says, Docker tag. So we are tagging it FinApp latest tag to the URL, the registry complete with this FinApp latest. Okay, now hit enter. Now you can see we have tagged the image. If I do here Docker images, we can see here this one has been tagged with latest version. So what we can do now just use the next command to push the image to the newly created AWS repository. So just copy this one. We can use docker push command. The same thing has been copied. Docker push and the entire image name. Okay, now just hit enter, pushed. Now the repository, now the image has been pushed to the repository. So if I go here and just refresh this one, you'll see the image. See, the image FinApp latest version has been posted. Now let's go ahead and create a different tag. Create a different tag. So what I can do here, the same command I'm going to execute, but this time I'll give a tag to it. Suppose I'll give a different version 1.0.1. Hit enter. So our new image with FinApp 1.0.1 tag created. Then what we have to do? We have to tag it, right? So let's, instead of latest, give a version name or tag name as 1.0.1. The same thing also has to be given here. Now remove this 1.0. Hit enter. So now our image with tag 1.0.1 has been created. Now what we can do, we can directly push that one, but this time we have to provide, instead of latest, give 1.0.1. Hit enter. So what it says, the layer already exists, right? If I go here, see, we have here another layer which I created the tag has already been pushed here. So if I go here, you can check we have latest and 1.01 tags available. Now, if I want this to be pulled and create container out of that, how we can do that? Simply, what we can do, just go ahead, clear it out. If I check here, we have lots of images created. Okay, now let's delete all the images, and what I'll do, Docker, if I do Docker images, so no images available now. So what I can do, as part of our diagram, let's pull the image which is created or available here. So here, if I go and check this registry, we have, if I go to this FINAF registry and just click it here, and we have this URI, right? Just copy this one, use Docker, okay, pull, give the image latest, or if you want the particular tag to be pulled, you can use this one. So what it does, it's just pulling the latest tag 1.0.1. Okay, so what you can do, if I do Docker images here, we have this available now. Now let's create container out of this image and see whether it is working perfectly or not. So for that, I can use Docker container run, okay, -t, give a name to this name. Suppose I'll give in something like this, and let's publish the port as this is Apache server default port is 80, default container port is 80. And what I can do, just provide the image. So in app colon 1.0.1. Okay, so now hit enter. We have our container now created. So if I do Docker container ls, you can see here our container is up and running. 8 seconds ago. So let's go ahead and access the container. So let me get the IP address of my Docker server. So if I just get the IP address and I'll just try to access the application, colon, it's not required, just hit enter. See what happens here, our container, our application can be accessible. Now you saw how we can build our image and store that image into Elastic Container Registry. Hope you understood clearly how we can do that. If you have any doubt or any concerns, please do write me in the comment section below. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, please do subscribe now so that you get notified when I add more videos in my channel. Thank you.